All right guys, today we're going to talk about adding a missing link to your pre-squat warm-up. So a lot of people, when they go into the gym and they're priming for a workout, priming for a squat workout, they do the same thing every time. It's glute work, it's TFL work, it's ITB, it's bash and mash, lacrosse ball, roller, giant steel cylinders, whatever. And that's fine. If that changes the perception of how you move and it allows you to get into a deeper, more efficient squat, then by all means, I'm all for it. But don't forget about the continuation of this lateral track, right? So all these muscles that I just talked about tie into each other. That anterior glute med ties into the TFL, ties into the ITB, and stops at the knee. But we don't squat on our knees, we squat on our feet, so there has to be a missing link. And the missing link is the peroneals. So the peroneal muscles, if you haven't heard about them, that's great, because it means they haven't given you troubles. They're sort of like the middle child of the lower leg. A lot of times, peroneal prehab bash and mash gets passed up for dorsiflexion issues or plantar flexion dorsiflexion issues. So the soleus gastrocs, your calves. But the peroneals play a huge role because they actually tie in to the base of the foot. Right? Now this is huge because the hip loads the foot, but the foot is also receiving ground forces back up that can change the trajectory of the hip. So how the peroneals affect the position in our foot with eversion, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion is going to play a huge role in how we sort of respond to our foot position when we squat. So we're going to go through two mobility exercises that address both two major muscles, the peroneus brevis, the peroneus longus, or fibularis longus, fibularis brevis, depending on how recent you want to get with your anatomy. So first, I'm going to actually show you on the shoe. We're going to use a lacrosse ball, so it'll be a little hard to sort of show that on the ground. So basically what we're looking for here, that peroneus longus tendon is going to come into the base of the first metatarsal. So that's to say big toe all the way down. And trust me, with this lacrosse ball stuff, it'll let you know where to stop. And the brevis tendon is going to come in and just attach in on the base of the fifth metatarsal. So think pinky toe all the way down. So we're just going to sort of try and get some direct pressure on there. So get a lacrosse ball right to that base of the fifth, and then follow that sort of lateral line to the base of the first. Again, I'm not going to show you on the ground because it's going to be more than useless. So remember origin and insertion, or the insertion points of those two muscles, and then get a lacrosse ball in there. Really change sort of the mechanics of the foot, especially if you suffer from flat feet. And now we're going to move down to the floor. I'm going to show you what it looks like on a foam roller to actually get through the belly of the muscle. All right guys, so now that we've addressed sort of the tendinous insertions on the base of the foot, or the peroneals, we're actually gonna get right in on the muscle belly itself. So foam roller in hand, what I want you to do is start, kind of find your anchor point, right? Find out where the tibia is first, so find the base of the shin, just below the knee, and then from there, shift your body lateral. So bring over kind of right onto that fibula, and now the key thing here is watch my back knee. I'm going to push that back knee into the heel to avoid any movement of the ankle. That shortening of the peroneals is going to cause. And sorry, it's not pleasant. And then from here, we're just going to track that entire fibula. You can kind of feel when the longus gives way to the brevis. About 2/3 of the way down, you're going to be overlapping both muscle bellies, and it's really going to let you know. Again, make sure we drive that back knee into the heel, keeping that ankle from everting any further, and just start tracing the entire muscle belly. So next time you go for a squat, try and throw this in, try and feel the difference of how that force transfers from the hip, that lateral hip, glute med, ITB, or TFL, ITB, into the peroneals and into your feet. You really want to have sort of active feet when you're squatting. Feel that eversion, or that spreading of the floor when you're trying to come out of the hole. So give that a try next time. Let me know how it goes.